It's time for the review of stories making headlines in Nigeria now. All the papers today are talking about the fallout from the results of the elections here and there. We have in the studio Dari Odufowokon with us in the studio, as well as Charles Ido. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you very much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with the Vanguard newspaper. That's our first paper this morning. Polls, PDP rejects results, summons legal team. Alleges irregularities, collusion between ruling party and INEC. Ignore PDP's antics. APC's Keyamo tells Nigerians. And Buhari wins in 11 of 18 states. All right, that's the Vanguard newspaper. Then from the Vanguard, we move to the Daily Trust. That's our next paper this morning, and says PDP rejects results as Buhari maintains lead. APC don't truncate process. And INEC result is valid. That's what INEC is saying. All right, we'll move from the Daily Trust. We go to the Nation, rather. The Nation newspaper, our next paper now, that says that Buhari is set for victory and the president wins 7 states. Atiku takes 4. FCT, 24 states results coming in. We expect that to come in, and the Coalition Center will resume by 10 a.m. this morning. We expect that. Then from the Nation, we'll move to this day. As our last paper right now, claiming democracy under threat. PDP rejects results as Atiku trails Buhari. APC, your position is premature. Buhari wins 7 states. Atiku takes 4 states. And FCT, President returns to Abuja, says, I will wait for announcement of results by INEC. All right, those are the headlines this morning, Jocelyn, for your attention. But Charles, let me draw your attention to a story here that is going to be of concern to you. On the page 2 of the Vanguard, don't violate peace accord, U.S. warns candidate. From so far what you have been seeing and all of that, the main opposition party, PDP, seem not to be satisfied with the makeup so far, and they're summoning their legal team so far from the headlines we saw here.
Well, it's not unexpected because if you look at the way elections are held down, in Africa and of course in Nigeria over the years, even kindergarten children will understand that you hardly find people going down without a fight, apart from the immediate past president, Goodluck Jonathan, who of course was very gentlemanly in accepting the outcome of that result. We've not seen anyone ever calling the opponent to congratulate him. So I'm not expecting anything outside what we've always known. But I think the position of PDP, as APC has said, is premature. We still have about 25 states to go. I think INEC just released about 11 states plus FCT. You still have 25 to go. So is it that they are
and anything can happen?
Anything can happen. So is it that they are preempting defeat or something?
Dari, if you take it down to Oyo State, where the governor who contested for Senate lost, and he's saying, I take it in good faith, and he has even
congratulated his opponent who defeated him. And he has shown a lot of sportsmanship in the way he's handling it. And it's on that premise that I would say the reaction of PDP, to me, is unexpected. Unexpected in the sense that before this process took off, there was a peace accord all the gladiators signed to. And it is the same PDP who, until this report from them, have been more positive about INEC's ability to a large extent, especially at the time when the last election, this election was postponed. PDP showed some positivism, even alleging that INEC has sort of shrugged off pressure to do what they are doing. INEC is under pressure, and they appreciate the ability of the chairman and the team to soak in the pressure. At what point? All right.
When it comes to this expression of grievances, now the U.S. And other international observers are saying, remember your peace accord, ensuring you don't break it. But coming to Nigeria itself, Charles, you think we have gone past where anybody is going to foment trouble?
Well, I think we've gone past that.
Okay.
There's absolutely no no cause for anybody to want to take out machetes or machetes, as they call it. But people can speak dagger, but I don't see anybody using any. But what Dari said earlier is that what we were talking about, the peace accord. But the peace accord, of course, does not prevent any candidate from going to court, from seeking legal redress. When you say peace is that let's be peace. If you want to seek legal redress, that's still within peace. Because rather than take the laws into your hands, you seek legal redress, which is what PDP wants to. But I am saying that the action of PDP, at least you wait till maybe declaration of all the results. You still have 25 coming. So after that, you can now say, okay, we were cheated, or you now say, okay, how you got cheated. But I think the peace accord, I think we are gone beyond that point where people start using using dagger.
Yes, Dari, all the political parties have agents in all of the units, from the polling unit to the highest point, as the case may be. And we expect that anywhere you feel dissatisfied, you have your agents there to bring evidence as to what went wrong and how.
That's exactly where I would quickly point out what Charles said now, that the peace does not preempt any party from going to the court. But you are not being peaceful when you try to discredit the entire process, even before we are halfway. That's not being peaceful. You are inciting, that's an incitement of some sort. Because we've just had 12 states, 1/3. You're already saying the entire process is not credible. Whatever the outcome is, you have already, tainted the process.
No, I don't believe that.
That's the way I'm coming. That's the way
I don't agree. I don't agree.
You don't agree?
Let me bring it down.
Let him land just briefly.
These parties, like you said, have their agents across the polling booths. So these are people who already have an idea of where the pendulum is swinging.
All right, but Charles,
the reason why I said I don't agree.
Yes, let Charles.
In 2011, rather than a candidate seeking legal redress, it was just a pronouncement and then conflagration everywhere. But that is different from what the stand of PDP. Even though I'm not queuing behind them. But somebody, rather than make a pronouncement and we incite the public to now take to the streets, but somebody say we're going to seek legal redress. So what is not peaceful about that? That's what I'm saying.
It's not peaceful.
So it doesn't set the tone for any trouble.
It
doesn't.
It just took us to 2011. It does. What difference does it make? What was that particular statement you're talking about? When you say this process is not credible, you are telling people
but the party has said they are calling their legal team.
Exactly.
Which means
after telling us
they want to call their legal team.
Of course, there is a reason for calling the legal team.
Meaning that they already think it's not credible.
Gentlemen,
why not call your legal team before?
But that's not breaking the peace.
All right, no problem, gentlemen. No problem, gentlemen. We wait to see how these things play out because we've been monitoring the system.
Review of stories making the headlines in the papers this morning. And with me in the studio for that are two gentlemen, a journalist and a social commentator, Charles Ideho, and another journalist, Dari Odufo. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with us. Let's head straight to the papers this morning, and starting with Vanguard. Polls, PDP rejects the results, summons legal team, alleges irregularities, collusion between ruling party INEC, ignore PDP's antics, APC's Kiyamo tells Nigerians. Buhari leads, wins in 11 of 18 states. And then we'll move on to the Daily Trust, where PDP rejects the results as Buhari maintains lead. APC, don't truncate process. INEC results valid. The Nation newspapers, Buhari set for victory. President wins 7 states. Atiku takes 4 FCT. 24 states results coming. And to this day, claiming democracy under threat, PDP rejects results as Atiku trolls Buhari. APC, your position is premature. Buhari wins 7 states. Atiku picks 4 others. FCT, President returns to Abuja, says, I will wait for announcement of results by INEC. But then let's head into the papers this morning and we look at The Nation, where we have Commonwealth observers scoring the conduct of the elections high. I will start with you, Dari. Would you say this is an improvement when you look at the conduct? Is it an improvement from that of 2015?
Yeah, we've heard from monitors who were held there on the field saying it is credible. They're scoring the process high. But from what we also have seen so far, one should be able to say, yes, in many areas there are improvements, in many areas. Perhaps because we listened to ourselves and we agreed to that postponement.
When you say listen, is it an awareness that Nigerians have come to a level that they understand the value of their vote?
That's exactly what I am saying. The voters out there, perhaps because of what happened in 2015, when it was obvious to everybody that, yeah, the votes now count. Our votes now count. It encouraged people to be more interested in the process during this period, at this period.
All right.
And more people showed interest, more people were willing to be told what to do, and more people are now willing to do what they've been told to do. Okay. And basically, it is about you going out there, casting your vote. And we now see a situation where people have confidence in the process and they are ready to make sacrifices.
Confidence in the process.
A lot of confidence.
Really, Charles, do you have confidence in the process? Because some have called for electoral reforms after the elections took place on Saturday.
Well, confidence to some extent, not wholesale, because I expected Professor Mahmoud to have picked up the template that was left behind by Jega and built upon it. But it does seem that if you look at what is happening, it does seem as if he wanted to make name for himself, wanted to do his own thing. Which
really? Make name for himself? How do you mean?
That's the way I mean, you know, it's almost becoming a Nigerian thing, a governor coming in, rather than build on the template that he made, he would rather want to go. That's exactly what I think Mahmoud is doing. Because if a Jega that came in, let me borrow Fani Amo's cliche that he fumbled and wobbled. I mean, he got it right in 2015. But for the very first time in the history of Nigerian election, you saw an opposition, I mean, taking the baton from the incumbent. I mean, the power of incumbency didn't play any significant role in 2015. And if you could find that template, and that worked, it was adjudged the very best, apart from 1993 elections. I expected the man who came in there, pick up that template and build upon it. Why are we still having this irregularity? Why are we still having all these things we're having? Look at. This is the 48 hours now. So after 48 hours, we're still having election trickling in, not even pouring in. I mean, that's as for me.
But you know the number of parties we have registered are more than that of 20 people. Whether parties or no party. What I'm saying, in fact, is that there are some things that we noticed in this election that we thought had gone behind us.
But there are also many things we saw in 2015 that have been taken care of. You see, I don't want to, as much as I believe that there are still many areas we need to improve upon, I don't want to join those who would simply put this current INEC chairman down, saying he has not done anything.
No, I didn't say he has done anything.
You didn't, but what I'm saying is that he's changing some things from the way Jega did it. That's what we called for. We called for reforms. We called for improvements in the way things are being done.
You improve and then you see progress.
He came in, he saw areas he could improve.
You didn't see progress at all.
Did he improve on them?
He's working on it to make sure he improves his own area. Of course, that he would also do his time or his beat. He would leave some things undone. Someone else coming. If that person comes, he doesn't have to do it the way Mahmoud is doing it.
No.
He will bring in his own ideas. He will bring them to play on what we notice.
To see how that improves the process.
What I'm even saying is that in 2015, we had postponement of election, but not 24 hours to. This man saw problems. And the election...
Would you say the problems were solved?
Yes.
Despite the challenges?
To a large extent.
A large extent?
If we are still having issues of materials not arriving as at the time we had that election, you can imagine what could have happened a week ago. And then we fail to realize the fact that this man had a template. He rolled out a timetable for what he wanted to do. It was delayed by the refusal of those who should release funds to him. At the time the funds were released, he had to start doing some things. we should cut some slacks for
No,
him.
That
and
those
agree
fund,
that
those
we
that
head
issue,
into his time.
That fund issue is not
It is a
factor
serious
here.
issue because INEC materials are what you procure
it's
down.
not a factor here. It's not
It
a
is
factor
a
here because
factor.
because even a few weeks before the election, Mahmoud told us that he was almost swearing that nothing, everything was going to go simple.
But he also said that, you know, everything will go as scheduled.
As scheduled.
Yes. But did they go as scheduled?
They did because
so where does the money come to play here?
Because the
money
INEC materials are not what you just procure and put down. They don't also forget the various court judgments. Many things have to be changed. This is a candidate today. They make preparations. The court says no, they have to change it. The number of parties that will participate kept changing.
But the change of candidates did not affect the ballot box.
It does.
Because the names are not coming out.
No, it does. Listen, let me explain.
It's the party logo.
It does because it keeps affecting the number of parties that will participate.
No, the parties have already been there.
No.
They've been there. All they needed to start. They were not going
Check.
to increase
The logos were there.
You voted.
But they were reducing.
I'm sure you voted. You saw that the House of Reps, the number of parties are not the same as
the Senate. And I saw that.
There were times the court says this party has no candidate. The next week they say they have candidate. They have to come onto the ballot.
Was that what was responsible for late arrival?
It is part of it.
Oh, come on, Daddy. No.
APC was not having candidate in Zamfara. Barely 24 hours to the election. Please, let's be realistic. They had to bring them onto that ballot. How they managed to
what about Lagos? What about Lagos? That even
all those things didn't happen in 2015.
It didn't happen.
It didn't. Not at this scale. So how they managed to escape the merry-go-round created by legal and judicial bottlenecks, we are not asking them. We are only looking at what they are unable to do. The few magics they were able to do, we should cut some slacks for them.
That's why I said,
I
didn't say to a large extent, I said to some extent.
Well,
but even in Lagos State,
large and some. What's the difference?
As a journalist, I cover election. I cover election for radio, for instance.
I did too.
Okay, good. Now we're going from polling booth from one to the next. I covered Ifakajaya and Ojokoro. Yes. I'm telling you that the election myself was supposed to have come by 8. As scheduled, yes. But they didn't come until almost 10. So was it the fund that was responsible for that?
See, in 2015,
was
we
it
had
the fund?
late arrival.
Perhaps.
We did.
So why did he improve on? Why did he not improve on that?
He did in some areas that were late last year. They were early this year. He can't get it all done once.
But that's what I'm saying. He's supposed to improve on it,
he
but
will not do it once.
He should pick the template and improve on the template.
Yeah. He worked on it. He built on it.
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.